Hello everyone, this is Dylan here. I'm going to be talking about the spoiler kind of breakdown review of the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. If you think you're gonna enjoy this video, go ahead and give it a like and maybe even subscribe if you really feel like it. I would appreciate it if you did that before you knew this content was good, so that way when you watch it, you won't feel tempted to unsubscribe. Help. Alright, so let's begin by talking about the first kind of opening scene. It begins with Sam ironing out his clothes, and then he goes on this mission. And upon my first viewing, I didn't think that this was anything spectacular. I thought it was kind of just action with no point. But the second time watching it, I really, really enjoyed it. I found it quite enjoyable, and my opinion kind of shifted on the whole episode as a whole once I watched it again. First time I saw it, I thought it was kind of slow. Maybe it was just because I was riding off the high of the Snyder Cut. I guess I didn't really fully appreciate like the other new content that we're getting. And I enjoy, Red Wing. Red Wing is upgraded so much. He went from a dude who could just shoot bullets, now he has lasers. His bird thing has lasers and bullets and semi-automatic machine guns, and it's basically, I think he has like voice control now, which is cool because they're like saying, okay, it's a bird, but it's like an electronic bird, so it can do all this and that, and it's bulletproof and stuff. And I really kind of think it's kind of fun. I was wondering if maybe they're gonna give him like a voice or something, like maybe he starts speaking or something like Jarvis. It was cool to see like Batroc the Leaper again. It was cool to see him hanging out because the last time we saw him, he's in Winter Soldier, and it's George St. Pierre, a UFC fighter. It's really cool just to see, like, I'm sure he'll come back because he jumped out of the helicopter before it exploded. So there's no way that that's all they're going to be doing with him in the show. I'm sure he's going to be a reoccurring character. Then we cut to Sam giving up the shield, it was kind of interesting because from the way that I understood it, they talk about the line that he says it feels like it was someone else's, and then Cap says it isn't. But during that scene in Endgame, it kind of felt like, well, there wasn't going to be much of an issue. Falcon was just going to take it on and be proud about it. But it seems in this one there was a little more baggage to that, or at least they're trying to say that there was a little more baggage. They kind of played it hopeful in game, kind of like something that was gonna, like this is something that Sam wanted and was going to like be successful at. But in this one, it starts out with him being like, no, this is Cap's only thing, and that leads him straight into talking with Rhodey, and him and Rhodey have. It's interesting. We've never seen the dynamic between the two of them. We haven't really gotten screen time where it's just these two guys, and they kind of do the philosophical debate on, whether or not Sam should take the shield, or whether or not it was a good idea for Sam to take the shield. And they settle on it's not Sam's shield. He doesn't want it. He thinks it's Steve's, which I get the sentiment, but I have a feeling that'll be undone by the end of the series. Then we cut to my boy Bucky as the Winter Soldier, of course, not as Bucky as we know him. And he's basically hunting down this dude, and then this poor kid. He's in the wrong place at the wrong time, and should seen a lot of things that he shouldn't have. So Bucky has to take him out, and then Bucky wakes up from the nightmare, and we go straight into the scene with his therapist, which is kind of interesting to see that he doesn't want to talk about it. I feel like they handle this really well. I feel like they're very careful, and they really it feels like they really care about what the story they're trying to tell with Bucky, and like how his his trauma, his PTSD is affecting him. And I really like Bucky, and I really appreciate what they're doing with his character. He can't really communicate even with his therapist, who he's supposed to be in. It was kind of funny. It's like a checklist, and he's going off and he's like telling people, I'm the Winter Soldier. I was the Winter Soldier. I'm no longer the Winter Soldier. I am now James Buchanan Barnes. You're part of my efforts to basically rekindle everything. I thought that was really nice. I really like the direction that they're going with his character, and I appreciate that he's still broken. I was worried that they were just going to say his time in Wakanda, he's healed, but I appreciate the fact that they're saying no, this is something that Bucky's going to continually deal with, at least throughout this series. It was also super interesting that he's now pardoned. I don't know if that was, I don't know if it's still President Ellis or if it's some other president, but they pardoned him. So 70 years of murder. I guess they were like, well, since Hydra, it was all Hydra, it's free to pardon him, and he has to abide by these 3 rules. That was just interesting. I didn't think that they were going to do that. I guess all the Avengers have a pardon because Sam's walking around, is not a fugitive anymore. So I guess that makes sense. I mean, they basically fought to save the world and won. I'm wondering if the pardon came before this, because Steve in Endgame clearly has no trouble being out in public. So I'm wondering if Steve was pardoned too, and then once the people who were with Steve came back, they were also pardoned. And I wonder if that was maybe Secretary Ross's doing. It's just interesting. It's interesting to think about who would have been the one to pardon them. Then we cut to Sam's sister in New Orleans. They've got their boat, and I didn't appreciate this at all the first time I watched it. In fact, I thought it kind of slowed down. I didn't really like it. And it's an interesting choice to have it be Louisiana, because that's where Anthony Mackie, the dude who plays Falcon, is from. So it was like they were drawing the parallels in between the actual Sam Wilson and Anthony Mackie. And I appreciated it a lot more the second time I watched it. The first time I watched it, like I said, I don't know, I just thought the episode was okay. But the second time I watched it, I really enjoyed it a lot more. I waited about 8 hours in between and then gave it another view. And I really appreciated what they're doing. I mean, they're fleshing out these smaller characters. And that means that if one of them dies, because they are smaller characters, so they can die, it's going to be devastating. Like, because we'll have spent so much time with them. It won't be like we just met them in one movie and they pass away and that's sad. It'll be like we spent at least 6 hours of our lives experiencing these events with these characters. So if they decide to kill them, or if the actor decides they don't want to play them anymore and that they want to be killed off, it's going to be really, really sad. I don't think that'll happen for any time in the foreseeable future, but it's interesting. So then we see that Bucky has this friend, this old man, and I was thinking, oh, it's probably, it's probably one of his old war buddies. It's probably someone he's already, known, and he's just, grown up out of time in the time when Bucky was in cryostasis. And then the old man sets him up on this date, and it's super awkward because you can tell Bucky has a lot of baggage that he's trying to keep back. I mean, he doesn't ever lie to her, but she just thinks it's so outlandish. Like, his story is so outlandish, which it is, that it can't possibly be true. But then, she starts talking about, how the dude has lost his son, his old friend has lost his son, and Bucky decides, I can't do this, and gets up and leaves. And then we see that the dude that Bucky shot in the beginning was the dude's son. So he is basically becoming the friend of this dude whose son he killed. Which is interesting. I don't know how that's basically going to turn out. I don't know if it's a good course of action for their friendship. I don't think it's going to end very well, to be honest. Then we come back to the new guy, the guy who apparently is supposed to take up the mantle of the Falcon. In the comics, at least he does. I can't remember what his name was. But he gets basically beat up. He's messing with the Flag Smashers, and he basically gets beat up. And then we see that there's a superpowered individual of some sort. So there's some sort of superpowered individual. I'm wondering, is this because the dude, when he's talking to Falcon, he says, you think this could be and there's that little blank space there. So is it a mutant? Is it a Inhuman? Is it a enhanced individual? Is it a Captain America duplicate? Like, what was he gonna say there? I don't think it's mutants. I don't think they're going to do that this soon. It could be an Inhuman. And I know that's like a stretch. Like, the chances that happen are pretty low. But I think it would be really cool to see like a redemption kind of for those characters in that story. And maybe they're part of the Flag Smashers. Interesting name too. Flag Smashers. I mean, we saw the girl that was there, so it wouldn't be shocking to me if that was... Because the girl's hands off the mask. She's clearly the leader. I mean, she's been in the marketing. Or maybe they're trying to do a loop around it, and it'll be the big dude who's smashing around everybody. I'm not fully convinced of that. And then we flash back to Sam, and he's watching the news recording of Wyatt Russell as U.S. agent, or the new Captain America, as they say. And they did him dirty. They really did him dirty. They didn't hold back on that. I mean, he turned in the shield because he thought Steve was the one who should have it, and then they kind of went right behind his back and made Wyatt Russell the Captain America, which clearly from the trailers we can tell Sam somehow gets the shield back. So I don't know if this is going to be a 1-episode thing or a 2-episode thing, but I don't think that Wyatt Russell is going to have the shield very long. My theories are there's going to be a lot of villains in this show, and I think it might be a 1 villain per episode type thing, because we got Zemo, and then Sharon Carter shows up, and we got the Flag Smashers, and then we got the superpower dude that's on the Flag Smashers, and then we got Wyatt Russell. So there's a lot of ground to cover. And I'm thinking that like each episode there might be a different person that they're gonna try and take down. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe down below. It really, really helps me out. Comment below on what you think might happen in the other episodes of the show. Or you think it'll be multiple bad guys or whatever. Comment about anything, really. I mean, it's YouTube, so... But please leave a like and subscribe, as it really, really helps me out. See you next time, guys. Appreciate it.